So I want to talk about compelling the players. 21 to 26 events. As a player, as a winner on the PGA Tour, I mean, we've heard Rory McIlroy say, you know what's so good about my station in life now? I'm going to pick and choose where I play and when I play. How do you get the players to all row in the same direction?
This is a problem with this is a plus for the players and a problem for Brian Rolapp with having 120 independent contractors and no union, no collective bargaining agreement, like other major sports leagues, where you have to play, you know, unless you're injured or something like that. You're going to play. Scheffler, last 3 seasons, 23, 19, 20 events played. Rory, 18, 19, 16. Since 2009, has never played over 20. It's played over 20 events in a season on the PGA Tour once because of, obviously, the DP World Tour and the other events he likes to play around the world. I look at Morikawa, you know, who's, again, multiple-time major champion. He's played 25 in 2023. That was the most he's played in his career. So it's a big ask. It's a big ask. And it's not just... Listen, I never played NFL football, so I don't want to compare because I know how difficult I understand how difficult that sport is on your body. My son plays at a high school level, and I can see how beat up he gets from game to game. These guys play 6 days a week. When you talk about practice round, pro-ams, and then when you make cuts, you're playing that for your body. It's not blunt force trauma like the NFL is every week, but it's death by 1,000 cuts, which is why you have so many nagging injuries out here on the PGA Tour here and there. So I mean, it's important that guys get their rest.
I covered the NFL for a decade, and here's how it works. You have a collective bargaining agreement where the owners will say, we're adding an extra game to the schedule. We're adding games on Thanksgiving or Christmas. In exchange, we reduce a practice. Maybe we don't do 2-a-days anymore. It's one practice over the summer during training camp. So there's a give and take in the National Football League, for example. It's different on the PGA Tour. Is that, in your mind, Eamon, potentially the biggest sticking point is getting these players who are alpha males, who are the CEOs of their own lives, to say, hey, I'm going to sign on the dotted line, as it were, and do what is best for this new look PGA Tour?
I think Brian Rolapp's running into the same problem Jay Monahan ran into when he created these signature events. Unless you contract the talent, you have no say over where they're going to go to work.
Okay.
You can ask for goodwill and you can make them equity owners in it and say that, well, showing up is going to build the value of this. And if you're out there every week, well, then it's going to make this more valuable when we go to a media market. He's given himself a little window when he says the 21 to 26 will include major championships, a Ryder Cup or President's Cup. So it could be as little as 16 regular tour events he wants guys to play. I still think he's up against it because you're talking about a 31, 32-week window. And that's leaving aside what the international component becomes in the fall for guys who have obligations to other tours or want to support other tours. I think it's going to be borderline impossible for Brian Rolapp to get the level of commitment that he wants from the number of players he's going to want to try to guarantee that top product.
It sounds good in theory, because it sounds like the NFL, where it's just going to be any given Sunday, everyone knows who's going to be playing every single week. On the PGA Tour, if it's 120-man fields, you just have that multiplied by 20. You just lace them up. Everyone laces them up every single week, and you see at the end of the season who is the best. I do worry about 26 events in a 32-week span. That's assuming you're going to have some off weeks potentially after the major championships, which makes some sense as well. You can't necessarily compel them to do so. You think they are, because their livelihoods are at stake. If you are going to have a pretty serious promotion and relegation without some of the safety nets, that is sort of an incentive for players to tee it up. And we've seen some Ironmen. We've seen Eric Cole. We've seen Adam Schenk. They teed up almost every single week.
Yeah, for survival.
Exactly. So are they trying to now compel the tour's rank and file, the middle class, the upper class? Obviously the superstars, the Scotties and the Warriors, they're going to take time off if they need it. But if you're a top 10, top 25 player in the world, or all of a sudden you saying, look, if I don't have a safety net anymore, I have to play every single week to make sure that I get to the postseason, to make sure that I have a full card. Well, you don't want to have load management. That doesn't work in the NBA.
No, my question is that what safety nets are you taking away? So you guys talked about it a little bit last night. Are you going to, Brandel had mentioned it, are you going to take away 5-year exemptions for major championships? Are you going to take a 5-year exemption away here?
Right.
I mean, if you do those kind of things, now what you're talking about, everybody goes, whoa. Even the guys who
There's
have won those
desperation.
championships. Now, okay, you might have a 5-year or the lifetime or the semi-lifetime at those major championships themselves, or maybe even here. But for the rest of the events, now you're like, oh man, okay, so I know I'm good for these events for maybe 5 years, but I'm not good for the whole season on tour. I need to play. Then it would make sense. But to get rid of those safety nets, whoo,
There's been
boy, that's going to take some buy-in from the top players who all have safety nets.
They do have safety nets, and you can even hear Brian say we want to get the best competing against each other more often. But if you are a member of the rank and file, are you pleased on this Wednesday? Paige?
Well, I was on a different track right before you asked the question, but
We can go down that track.
Reset.
track number 3 on this. Yeah, exactly. But more importantly, if somebody has a great year, they became a name. There is a level of, yes, you want meritocracy, but also you want familiar names and household names that people come and buy tickets for. So I think if you were to lose some of the safety net, you actually lose some of the value in having somebody that's Jordan Spieth, for example. People are showing up to go buy a ticket to watch him play. Would he have been in that fluid in and out meritocracy? I don't know. And that's where I think there is some value in keeping some safety nets. And I wouldn't call them safety nets. I'd call them residual value.
We're talking sponsor exemptions into signature events, which sounds like that could potentially be off the table. We're talking about career money exemptions.
You can go even deeper than that. I mean, they've created a lifetime exemption for Tiger Woods into signature models. It's theoretical because he's not playing, but how meritocratic is your meritocracy if a man who's played a half dozen regular tour events in 5 years has a lifetime pass into these events? And the sponsor exemption is a tough one. I've argued that if you get a free pass into a lucrative event, then you ought to be forced to go play an event you haven't supported in 4 or 5 years to kind of pay back that free pass in some way. But it's very hard to rationalize from the competitive standpoint the use of these exemptions. But to Paige's point, if you're putting $20 million into a pot and you're being told that there's no sponsor exemption because you can't invite a Jordan Spieth or Tiger Woods, you're going to have a problem with that from a sponsor standpoint.
But with a 120-man field, they should be there. And if they hadn't, and if they're not in that field, then they, quite frankly,
they're
don't
not playing
deserve
well
to be
enough.
there.
They're not playing well enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Brian Rolapp said they're still deep in the process. He expects to have an update during the Travelers Championship following the U.S. Open, then another update at the Tour Championship. And some of these changes will not be rolled out until the year 2028.